can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fuck it.
Did you? How was your hike today? What do you got the orange vest on for? You hunting too while you were doing the morning hike in Bend, Jim Moore?
No, I couldn't find my black vest.
I like the orange vest though.
You like the orange vest?
I do. It stands out. You don't want to be mistaken for some animal out there. You don't know who's got a gun in Bend. May see you and say, take him down. We need dinner this weekend.
Yeah. No, it's a little chilly in Bend. And
Is it?
yeah, I started at 7:30, got done at 9:30, 7.3 miles, 14,837 steps.
Come on. You walked 7 miles already?
Yeah, but it was mainly because of last night, what I did last night. You ever get one of those nights? Well, this is a dumb question asking you this because I know you do. I already know the answer. Where I was just really hungry. I ate everything in sight. I ate everything in sight. I mean, I had a bagel. I had granola. You're looking for something sweet, and there's nothing around that's sweet. So I thought, well, I'll have granola. That's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm just shoveling it into my mouth from the bag. God. Then I noticed in the freezer, I was looking for ice cream, and there wasn't any ice cream. But hey, there's some French fries. So I fired the oven up to 450, let it go for like 18 minutes, and had a little barbecue sauce. And I'm watching that Cowboys game, and
so you decided you had to walk it off. The 7 miles already before 10. I mean, that's a hell of a day.
Yeah, and I'm trying to walk fast. I saw people that were running today, and I told them how much I miss running.
Good Lord.
It's not the same walking. It's just not. I mean, well, it's better. You can still walk and get a good workout. Well, no, not like running. Shit, whoever says that.
There's no
some
way.
doctors say it's okay just to walk. Yeah, well, I'm not really sweating like I used to when I ran. God, when I ran, it was just pouring off of me.
Yeah, there's no one that's already done 7 miles today. This is why it is the walking show of record, is the Daily Puck Drop. We do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the great Jim Moore. We are in the Limback Lumber Studios, the beautiful Limback Lumber Studios. They offer free deliveries from everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects, contractors, especially the small ones. We're talking to you. Old school service because they've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. I almost forgot the phone number. LimbackLumber.com. The QR code right there. Click on it, and it will take you right there. All right. How are you, sir? Everything good on a Friday?
I'm doing great. Can I bust your balls for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah. I always get a kick out of it. Like today was one of those rare days where you weren't too frustrated with me before we started the show, because except for I need to project more because for some reason I'm not coming through the way I need to. I'm not loud enough. So I'm going to try and do that. But I noticed yesterday when I was out for my daily walk, and I was listening to Mike Garafolo.
The great
and
Garafolo.
He had some major issues going on there. There was echoing. A little girl, his daughter crying in the background. There were all sorts of distractions.
Yeah.
And yet you're like,
took it easy on him.
I'm dealing with a national guy here. Hey, Mike, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You're all right. And then when it's Jim Moore speaking in the third person here, when it's me, it's like, fuck, man, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
You're
you
right.
And Sorensen, God, the technology, hey, Mikey G, that's okay. You're a national guy. I saw you on TV doing post-game interviews after that Cowboys-Giants game.
It's as Jimmy Johnson said back in the day, all right, with the Dallas Cowboys, and the guy that we love the most, Hugh Millen, would tell this story all the time. There was a guy that fell asleep in one of their meetings one time during training camp. You've heard this story, I think. People that are watching this and listening to this right now, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or listening on the PuckSports mobile app, thank you. Yes, we're going to fix the little glitch where you can't go away from the app. It's going to happen soon. Trust me.
Do you yell at that guy too, or does he get the Mikey G treatment?
No, he gets the Mikey G treatment because these guys are helping me. So Jimmy Johnson did the story where he said where the guy fell asleep and then he cut the guy, just cut him the next day. And then somebody said, well, if that was, there's a higher standard here. And somebody said, well, if that was Emmitt Smith, would you do that? Well, no, I would go over there and wake up Emmitt Smith up. So that's kind of the deal.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So you're the guy that got cut, and then like Garofalo's Emmitt Smith.
Yeah. Okay. I know my place in the PuckSports world.
Oh, stop it. God, just relax. I can't talk to Garofalo like that I talk to you. It'd be terrible. So
yeah, I am relaxed. I don't have
great.
much going on this afternoon.
Okay.
We're going to look at a house in Redmond that we're thinking about buying. We're thinking about leaving Bend and going to Redmond.
It's not like it's that
15
far
miles away.
Yeah, it's 15 miles, but not that far.
It's cheaper there. You get more bang for your buck there. And then I'm gearing up for that Husky game tonight. Let's go Scarlet Knights.
Let's go Scarlet. Do we have the Rutgers fight song?
Yeah.
I can find the Rutgers. I've always been a big Greg Schiano fan. Come on, Scarlet Knights. By the way, that's a perfect segue. You can watch and listen to Puck the Huskies podcast. I don't talk to them like I talk to you. With the great Elise Woodward and Jordan Reffett to preview. A lot of time previewing the Scarlet Knights. It's available YouTube, Apple, Spotify. It's better than anything else you're going to get anywhere else. I'll tell you that.
It's better than Old Crimson this week.
No, Old Crimson was great this week. It wasn't.
Well,
it was such a disaster. It was great.
So it was so bad it was good.
Yeah, I got a lot of compliments on how bad it was, but then how good it was, because it was just everyone's yelling at each other. Things don't work right, and
yeah. You know what I thought of? I don't know what Paul majored in, but you and I are proud graduates of the Murrow School of Communication.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they were proud of us alums with that one. Yeah, that was pretty impressive work there.
There's just the swearing or just the technical problems.
The technical problems.
Well, there was. I mean, one of them was just my cord came out. There's nothing I could do about that. It just popped out. I got a kick out of that. I got a kick out of that guy on Twitter. I think it was. It said, I'm trying to listen to you guys, but you've turned into a couple of Cougar honks, and I can't take it. And I'm just like going, well, where have you been? Expect, man? We're WSU alums, and when you're a WSU alum, you root for the Cougs and you hope the Huskies lose. I'm sorry, but I said to the guy, are you new? I mean, I don't. What do you want? I mean, this is what we've been doing, and we're proud Cougar alums. We love the Cougs. Nothing has changed.
There was one show that we did, and I think we should go to Hollywood after we did that show. And that was after the Huskies lost to Michigan in the national championship game.
God,
and we were really professional. We acted like we felt bad. Man, that was a tough game.
Well, because you
tough
have
loss
to.
for Washington. But, they made it to the championship game. You need to huh?
Because you have to, because it's like ordered to when you worked over there. I mean, I'll take people behind the curtain. Please, I will. Please take it easy on them today, okay? We're the flagship. We don't want to kill them today. Just be a little bit sensitive to what's going on. Yeah. And then I guarantee you people over there got talked to after the Apple Cup when several people on that show on that station who love the Huskies, by the way, were critical of Jedd Fisch on fourth down. I will guarantee you that they were talked to. We're the flagship.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
No, and then they only gave us an hour that day, remember? And I can't remember what the lame excuse was.
Well, we're only going to have you guys go an hour.
And I would never argue for less work over more work, but
yeah, I didn't want to work.
Yeah.
I wanted to start the show that day with the Michigan fight song.
No, I know. During commercials, I think we were both singing, "Hail to the."
Yeah, I wanted the Michigan fight song.
And and then flip it around. If I'm a Husky fan, I want Boise State to beat the hell out of us.
Of course, exactly.
I do. Yeah, I do. Hey, little brother, you're gonna get yours on the blue turf.
But that's the way it should be. It's fun. That's right? Isn't sports supposed to be fun? Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. What do you think? Is it going to be fun tonight at the old ballpark? Huh? You got your wish, fan appreciation night, and they've been eliminated with 3 to go.
Well,
are they going to have the big thank you fans out there on the grass? Thank you. Thank you for supporting us as we continue to be the shittiest organization in professional sports. Thank you.
I saw how you changed course though, because your daily puck drop yesterday.
Well, how did I change course?
What's the thing at the end you call it?
Hey, what the puck? What did I change the course though?
Well, yesterday you said I'm not going to tell you how to fan, right? You said that.
Oh,
I was listening.
But I did.
Okay,
At the
but then
end,
you told people how to fan on Twitter last night. You changed your mind.
and I did say that. Yeah,
Okay.
we're hypocritical. Sports fans, aren't we all hypocritical?
Okay, so you were hoping that even people that have tickets tonight don't go to the game.
They do whatever. Fine. I don't care what you do. I just
No,
whatever.
but what in your heart of hearts, what do you want them to do?
I would
don't
like
want
no
people-
one to show up there tonight in the next 3 days. That's what I would
Yeah.
really like. I would like
I
the
do
stadium
too.
to be empty so they fucking finally get it through their heads that it's not acceptable. And people are going to say, well, they're not going to understand that. You've already bought the tickets. Okay, fine. But you know what you're not going to do if you don't go? You're not going to buy the $15,000 hot dog. That's what you're not going to do.
I like the idea of the bags over the heads. I know it's
They're not
overdone.
going to allow that. They don't allow anything. They're not going to allow the signs to be in there.
No, you can sneak some brown paper bags in, can't you? And then
Well, you can, but don't you think the way that organization acts that they're going to confiscate it right away? I'm sure there'll be signs in there tonight, and I'm sure there'll be someone that puts a bag on their head, but they're going to come down and say something. They'll take it away.
Has it ever happened in any team anywhere where your team has actually got a winning record and you're wearing bags over your heads? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm sure there'll be people that sneak in signs somehow, or a T-shirt. But do you think they're going to show it on TV? No, they're not going to show that.
We don't have an Apple game tonight.
No, it's on Root, right?
Okay.
It's an Apple game. Yeah, they're not going to show that. Would they're owned by Root is owned by the Mariners. They're not going to show, like, if there's a big sign out in center field, John Stanton sell the team. They're not going to. Hey, guys, let's tell Dave and Mike. Let's focus in on that. First of all, is Blowers gone? What happened to Blowers? Did Blowers just decide to tap out on the season?
Yeah, for people like you and me that are just cynical and sarcastic and skeptical and all those kind of words, this is just like the most beautiful night ever. Like,
Jesus.
I mean, and yesterday, did you get an email? They actually sent out an email talking about how you can get your postseason tickets, and I'm going.
Oh, standard.
I mean, this was before they were eliminated, but the magic number was down to 1 for Detroit and Kansas City. And it's just it's so absurd that it's comical. You have to laugh. You have to laugh at how comical the whole thing is.
Especially because tonight is fan appreciation night.
Yeah.
And they're doing the fireworks.
And think about it. Okay, if there's like 40,000 people there, you're not going to win the grand prize. It's 40,000 to 1. So why even bother? It'd be cooler if it looked like the Kingdom in the early 80s. Remember back, well, let's see, were you even born then?
Yeah, I was born in 75, yes.
Okay. But back in the day when it was kind of cool, you go to the Kingdom, pay $5 for a ticket, maybe even $3. I forget. But then you could just go down and get like Diamond Club type seats, just I would love to see like 5,000 people there tonight at most.
I would too. And then I said that, and there was a lot of people that agreed with it last night. There was a lot of pushback. There's a couple of people that are just so upset about it. And again, I should probably go back to my original point. You want to fan however you want to fan, but I just, at some point, I guess my message to those fans would be, at some point, you have to send some type of message to them. Something. And that doesn't mean that you can't be a fan next year. It's like, I'm not going to not be a fan next year of the team. And I'll say this as we get closer to the season. And I joked with Egan last week. The second he has that camera down there in Peoria with the stupid cleats on the ground, I'm going to be like, oh, here we go. How are we? Team's looking good. I'll overreact to spring training stats because I do the same thing every year. But at some point, they have got to get it through their heads that it's not okay what they're doing. Is it 48 years they've been in existence? Right? And they've missed the playoffs 43 years? 43 times.
Yeah.
This guy that runs this baseball team has been to one postseason in 9 years. I mean, and there's people who are just like, it's acceptable. That's okay. That's fine. I love baseball. I love baseball too, but
do you think it doesn't seem like anyone, even the people that before used to say it was acceptable, I don't sense that feeling anymore.
Really?
Like, I mean, I didn't go through all the comments at the end of Jude's story or Divish's story, but there were 400 plus comments. And I just sense that people are getting so burned out on the M's. Even people that love baseball and have loved the Mariners, followed them forever. It's like, I think they've reached their enough is enough point. Can I read this one comment? The guy, I love this comment.
This is from the story that Jude and Divish did, like what went wrong story?
No, I didn't.
Which story?
It was just the one where Divish said that they're mathematically eliminated now. It was that one.
This is yesterday. The comments not on a story, just comments on Twitter?
Comments at the end of the story.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Robert R. is the guy's name. It's time for me to realize the Mariners will never win a championship in my lifetime. The good news is that one day I'll be dead and won't have to suffer through another year of wasted talent and failure.
Oh, God, don't you love being a sports fan? God, I just love it.
No, but you know what? We
So
joke about that. We joke about it. And, I've been around, let's say I was 19 years old when the Mariners got here, and here I am 67, and they haven't been to the World Series yet. And my mom is 95.
And she loves the Mariners, right?
She loves the Mariners.
Yeah.
She watches every single game. And she's like, Jimmy, maybe this will be the year. And boy, Jimmy, I'm not. And then she'll like criticize some players, but she's still pulling for them. But she's 95. She knows she doesn't have much time left. And people like her, they're never going to see it in their lifetime. It's crazy. Even the Cougs. I mean, we went 63 years without going to the Rose Bowl or whatever it was, and 67. We finally made it. 67. I mean, the Mariners are. I mean, they're not going to do it next year.
You want to know why I know it's 67? Because when we were in school and they went to the Rose Bowl, there used to be do you remember the Denny's that used to be by the Holiday Inn?
Yeah.
So the Denny's.
It was kind of like by the Crimson and Gray, or what's the name of the show? I'm drawing a blank.
Crimson and Gray store. You're right. It's right there. So there used to be a Denny's there, and the guy that owned it decided, since it was 67 years, he did 67-cent well drinks.
Nice.
Think about that for a second. Now that's 1997, and you're 67 cents. Yeah. We would go in there. I'll take a quadruple, please. Just pour it all the way in.
Hey, Denny's has an underrated hot fudge sundae, by the way.
Okay, I'll go check it out. Denny's hot fudge sundae. I'm in.
No,
I love it. McDonald's has got a great hot fudge sundae. They always have. It really is the undisputed winner when it comes to hot fudge sundaes. But
it's even better though when you ask them to put hot fudge on the bottom, then ice cream and hot fudge on the top.
Great call, sir. Great call.
Yeah.
You know what? And then I was thinking about this morning, thinking about when that Detroit series, and I just remember us doing this show. Because you were the first one that said, "God, really, Mitch? Are you sure?" Mitch Haniger, after they avoided the sweep, and he wins with the game-winning hit back on August 8th, was like, we're better than them. We know we're a better team than Detroit. And I remember the next day when we did the show, you were like, I'm not so sure that they are better. And I'm like, you're crazy. Seattle, of course, is better than Detroit. Well, since Mitch Haniger made those comments in that game, the Seattle Mariners went 22-21, and the Detroit Tigers went 30-12, and will be in the postseason.
Yeah,
and they traded away their second best pitcher at the deadline.
Yeah, and you make a good point. Since you gave me a compliment, I'll give you one too. Like back in April, you're always talking about how those games count, and you counter to the people that are like, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
You can't treat it like the NFL.
162 games.
You can't treat it like the NFL. It's not like that. Well, duh.
Well, look at Kansas City. So they won a bunch of games early. They built a good cushion for themselves.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing 7 in a row recently, and they still were able to hang in there because of the cushion they built earlier in the season. So, and then, the Mariners, they also built a cushion, but apparently they needed to have a 15-game lead in order to.
It's the worst.
Are they the only, so I guess they're what are they? The only team that has had a 10-game lead in the wild card era?
No, I think they're the only team in the history of the sport that late in the season to have a 10-game lead or more and blow it and not make the playoffs. No one had ever done it before. Hey, they should put a banner up for that. That should be their fan appreciation night. What do you think do they give anything away? I don't think I've ever been to fan appreciation night. And now
fan appreciation. Well, that's what they do. What do you mean?
Back when I was a kid, I used to get the bat. Didn't they give the bat away or something?
No, but fan appreciation night, during in between innings tonight, they'll be giving away Alaska Airlines trips.
Okay, but what should they give away to everyone that enters into the stadium? What should they give away? My advice would be the home phone number for John Stanton.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that.
Would you like to?
They got that covered. Yeah, we're going to give him.
Here's John's number. Give him a call. And what I would do if I were them? And people would soak it up. They would never do this. They should pick. Ballmer did this. They should pick up the tab for everyone.
Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea.
They should say everything is free tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
You're limited to I don't know. You'd have to do something with alcohol, but
yeah. Free on everything but beer. You can't do it on beer.
Yeah,
or maybe have half price beers. No, make it $9 instead of $18.
instead of $98, they should make it like a reasonable $45 for a beer over there.
Yeah,
except for
I love your idea though of
everything's free
outside the stadium and then drowning out the Jesus guy.
Yes, well,
people should
Jesus
show up.
Going to be there.
Yeah, don't talk about Jesus, but get your own little portable microphone thing where you can scream at people.
The Mariners have sinned. They have let us down again. They have sinned. Jesus died for your rights to watch this pitiful baseball team. God, guy.
You think on John Stanton's Judgment Day that they're going to,
I hope that guy's at Judgment Day.
Yeah,
you let everybody down. John Stanton, what were you thinking?
I bring that up because I saw a little cartoon the other day, and there's a line of dogs there at the pearly gates, and St. Peter, whoever's the guy there at the front, just goes,
St. Peter, right?
Of course you're all getting in. You're dogs. I mean, who wouldn't let a dog into heaven?
Oh, yeah, well. It's everything free.
What more can be said? We've talked about it all year long. Everybody's talked about it. You watch the games and you know why they didn't make it, because the offense was one of the worst offenses they've ever had. And the Mariners have had some shitty teams. We all know that over the course of their history, but this one, Puck, is going to have the lowest batting average ever in Mariner history.
Yeah.
And then, I'm all over these strikeout things. I'm sorry.
You love the strike. Well, you should be. Those strikeouts, it's not putting the ball in play.
This is a big deal tonight. Because they had 1603 strikeouts last year, which was a club record. They're right on 1603 after striking out 16 times to the hungover Astros the other day. And so they don't have a shot at the 1654, though. That's what I was hoping for, that they could have the new MLB record. But yeah, they can, get up into the 1600s again for the second straight season. More than 3,200 strikeouts, more than 10 a game. After saying we were going to address that, and that guy who said that he was going to address it,
he gets a
contract extension to come back and give us more bullshit.
Which they still haven't announced yet. That's what I love about these guys. Do you think they're going to have anything at the end of the year? A press conference?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do anything.
Probably
I bet you
not.
they don't. I bet you they don't even do they even announce it?
God, I already wrote up one of those spoof press conferences, what I want people to say and what Jerry's going to respond to.
Is that going to be for the Tribune?
Yeah, but the sports editor wasn't comfortable with it because I used real names.
Okay, I'm comfortable with it. Because remember, we want you to start writing up at PuckSports.com. Can you send it over to me and I'll publish it?
He thought it was too snarky.
Okay, fine. I love snarky. Can we publish it, please?
And I honestly, I got to admit, sometimes I read my shit and I go, before I send it in, and I go, yeah, that's good. That's not so good. And yeah, I wish I could have made this better, but I'm going to hit the send button anyway. This one I actually looked at and I thought, yeah, I laughed.
Okay, I'm going to ask for the. I don't know if you heard me.
I usually don't look at what I write and laugh,
No.
and I just, I'm just so. I don't know. Maybe you'll find it funny. Maybe you won't.
I'm going to ask
know.
for the 4th time. Can we put it up on the site?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I was going to put it on Substack or something.
No, we don't.
No, I did a lot of swinging at ankles.
Good. Let me put it up. We need you to start writing for the website. All right.
I'll probably edit it a little bit though,
Okay.
and I'll take Shannon Drayer's name out, and maybe substitute Jen Mueller's in there. I think Jen probably has thicker skin and might have more of a sense of humor than Shannon.
Well, we'll find
it's
out.
So funny. It's so funny because Shannon still hates me for this spoof column that I wrote a few years ago, and I just made up comments for people. Like there were other people at Root Sports that were like, "Hey, that was okay." They didn't mind that I used.
Why don't you, instead of you want to put Brad in there, or put Brad in there?
No, I have Angie in there.
Okay, good.
And I have Angie just going off.
Oh, good, perfect.
Just going off because she probably realizes that Root Sports is on life support. So
should we put a disclaimer on it? This is a spoof.
No.
Okay, just want to. All right.
Yeah, I think it's
self-explanatory.
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, I can't wait to read
it.
No,
I have a lot of respect for Sean Robinson, the sports editor at the News Tribune, and he usually doesn't, pause and stop on something I send to him. But this one he did. This one might be over the line a little bit. But PuckSports, it's anything goes, right?
It's anything goes at PuckSports. We don't have no PuckSports.com has no journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
Zero.
Are you going to put it in some prominent spot on the website, or will you,
It will be on the
because that's where you would put Mikey G's stuff.
It's just on the website.
You.
There's a.
Are you going to just kind of bury me down below, Divish and Duquette and everybody?
No, there will be a blog tab, and then you click on the blog tab, and it'll be right there.
Okay,
I'll put it out. You're great. I want you to write more. You're the best. I told you. You're the best columnist I've ever read.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Ever.
I think I had a decent window, but
you had a great window.
I mail in columns now. I mail them in. I just kind of bang them out. I appreciate when people still read them, though.
You're the best. It's funny. It's snarky. It's good. It's critical. Unfortunately, it's everything we lack in this market.
Well, it's how I want this press conference to go, and I think you make a good point. Why would you hold a press conference if you're the Mariners? Why would you do that?
I don't. I will be pleasantly surprised if they actually do a press conference. I think what they'll do is probably what they did when they fired Scott Servais, that they'll do it Zoom. I'll just be stunned.
They'll do it Zoom.
I'll be stunned if
pussies doing that.
I'll be stunned.
God, they are.
I'm going to make sure 31-35 edit out.
I will.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to say wusses, right?
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they put up Dipoto and Hollander. Well, let's just say Dipoto and ownership. Because there's only two people you want to hear from, right? It's Jerry Dipoto and John Stanton. That's all you want to hear from. To me, I would be stunned if they do that. And if they do, good on them.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, I wouldn't mind if they brought Tonto back. Get rid of Jerry and let Hollander do it.
Hey, I saw Tonto last night.
God, I miss the Tonto caller. I miss
we've got good voicemails today. We got like 4 of them. I saw Tonto. I know. How much should I reveal where I saw him at? Is that like uncalled for?
Well, I don't care.
Well, there's a little place by where I live. Like it's a little like a little butcher / restaurant, really small spot, really highly regarded area where I live. Like it's just like a real
Well, what, you don't want to say that you saw Tonto in Ballard or something?
No, I don't. I'm just saying he's out with his family. He doesn't need to know I guess where he goes. But anyway.
Oh, then people
I'm walking
go
by. I don't think I'm walking by with the dogs. Last night, little night walk. And I'm walking by it, because I walk by it every day. I look in, it's busy. I didn't know they were open this night. And I look in, I'm like, oh, There's Tonto.
You ever did
I
it cross
should have
your
knocked
mind-
on the door.
did it-
Yes, fucked it up again this year.
No, but did it cross your mind to go over and say, "Hey, I'm Jason Puckett. I used to work at KJR. We interviewed
No.
you." And
You remember when I
there's a
harassed you?
voicemailer there's a voice caller that used to call in, and
He's
we
there
called
with
you
his
Tonto.
family.
Are you okay? You okay with that? I don't know if you get the reference.
Do you-
Like
Do you like
Jerry's
that we
the Lone Ranger and
do
you're
you-
Tonto. Is that okay?
Do you like that we call you Tonto?
I want that guy back. How come we can't get the voicemailers back that were at KJR?
I don't know.
Like I want Jamal Adams calling from Nashville. How's he doing? Anyway?
I've promoted a lot. Voicemails are there. You just got to go to the website, PuckSports.com. It's
And
right
Pete
there.
Carroll.
Hey.
Where's Pete? We got to get
Did you
Pete back.
see him lately? Did you see him on the sidelines of the Huskies? God, he looks better than ever.
Oh, he always looks great. His son looks like shit, but
Yeah, well,
he looks great.
He looked wonderful. We do have.
God, everybody's singing the praises of Belichick's kid. Who the hell have they played? Who have they?
Well, they played us.
played?
They played us.
That Rutgers kid's going to run all over him tonight.
Hey,
it's going
I
to be
mean,
beautiful.
they I will say this. Okay, now I think this is fair before people start yelling at me. You can't argue with their statistics. Real quick, you can't argue with it. But people that would say, well, I mean, Washington State had 381 total yards on them.
They played one actual team.
Okay, they rushed for 136 yards. We missed a field. We missed a field goal. We had a number. I mean, a lot of those penalties ended up. Whatever. We should have scored 27 points on them. So, I mean, they've played one legitimate offense, and that was our offense. And we put up, almost 400 yards and 27 points on them. So, I mean, I think they're good. They're not as good as their stats indicate.
No.
I think that's fair to say.
And they can't help who they played to this
Of course
point
not.
either.
They can only play the teams that they're going to play. I don't know anything about Rutgers. Yes, they run the ball more. Their quarterback doesn't seem dynamic at all, so they'll probably do well. But this team's going to want to run against them. Washington's not going to face, other than when they played Wazoo. Michigan doesn't have anything at the quarterback position, but they're going to run it down their throats. Iowa, I don't know. I watched Indiana play UCLA. Now, that's a good team. Now, they got to go to Indiana. That defense is going to be tested in Bloomington on October 22nd or 26th because that offense is damn good. Real good.
Yeah.
So, but who knows?
I want to be happy tonight, and I want to be happy tomorrow night. I want them to lose and us to win.
Well, that's the way it should be. That's the way America is. You want your rival to lose as much as possible. So yeah, I think we would all be happy. Well, not all. Some would be happy if they lose, and they would be, they would be happy if we lose tomorrow.
They should be happy if we lose tomorrow.
Yeah,
because if we keep winning and have a shot at that 12-team playoff, I mean,
think there's a chance.
irony gets overused and used improperly, but I think it would apply in that situation.
There's two things. One, I will be glass half empty. I don't think we'll run the table. Two, I think even if they did run the table, I still think they'd be left out.
You talking about the Cougs?
Yeah.
That's we. Okay. We to you, we to me. It's not they. It's we. Us.
Okay, we. I'm
Cougs.
sorry. We. Even if we get to 12-0, I think we will be left out.
We won't be left out if we go 12-0.
Okay.
There's 12 teams, not 4 this year.
I understand. But who runs?
You think there's a bunch of Joel Klatz that'd be like going,
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, look who runs.
They didn't play a tough enough schedule.
Look who runs the college football playoff. It's ESPN. Who are they in bed with? The SEC. They're going to get as many SEC teams in there as possible. I mean,
I think our schedule would be just good enough to slide us in, though.
We'll see.
Because we beat Texas Tech, beat Washington. That means we'll have beaten Boise State, Fresno State, and Oregon State.
I think it'll be fun, but I mean, I just think here's the other part of it. Before we even get to there, whether they be in or not, what led us to swearing at each other on the old Crimson. I just don't think their defense is good enough to run the table.
You're right. It's not.
So I think that's going to bite them.
And it's our defense, not their defense.
What did I say? Okay, our defense. God almighty.
I get a kick out of some people like, oh, do you play for the team? No, but I went to school there. Okay, can I call it our? I never say, like us with the Seahawks or Mariners. I
Yeah.
don't say we with the Seahawks or Mariners. But
Oh,
with
I
the
do.
Cougs, I'm going to say we, us, our.
I do it with the Seahawks and the Mariners too.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
God, I saw the Scowler. He's still there. He's still hanging out there. I saw Grubby getting interviewed, and there was a video of the Scowler just kind of standing there looking around.
Well, he's
God,
the
I miss
Scowler.
that guy. I'm sure he misses me too.
I'm sure he does. Seahawks. Well, we can talk more about the Seahawks there on Monday. What is it? 3.5 points right now. They've got everybody. Frank Ragnow's out for the Lions, but I don't know. I mean, if Murphy's out, Garofalo was on yesterday and just said that they're not going to play. Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy are not going to play, and also said that he doesn't think I can't even talk. He doesn't think Christian McCaffrey is going to play the rest of the regular season. Or he thinks there's a pretty good shot he doesn't.
So that not only hurts the 49ers, which we already know, but how many fantasy people took him?
Oh my God. Kills your fantasy. I mean, how many people in their fantasy
he's number
football?
1 overall, isn't he?
Oh, by probably in a majority of the leagues, he was taken number 1 overall. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then go read, if you haven't, you've been hiking all this morning, so you haven't seen, go read the fantastic breakdown from Michael Shanduka.
Michael Shanduka.
Yeah, we
Where
need
is
that.
he? Where's
I
Joel?
don't know. We need Joel back. Joel.
Softy. We need Softy to be fun to hear from.
And what pisses me off about Joel is I've sent him the link. Like, here it is, Joel, do it. And he's on his ass doing nothing. So come on, Joel, if you're watching.
The Dugar one might have been the best one.
The Dugar one was
on my couch in Kent.
Go Cougs. Yeah. He wrote a great story today just about where they're at where the offensive line is at right now. And it's just craptastic again. I mean, through 3 games, they are 31st in pass blocking rate and run blocking win rate. Geno's being pressured 10th most in the league. They lead the league in acceptable penalties with 18. A lot of those happening on the offensive line. Anthony Bradford's second in the league with 6 penalties accepted. They're according to DeGar, well, and he got it from, stats, but they are averaging 9.6 yards a play, to go on third down. How are they 3-0?
Well, and then Bradford's been bad, and now he's
terrible.
Hurt. So even if he plays, he'll be even badder. And I know badder's not a word, but that's what he'll be.
How come
Haynes mustn't be any good?
Well, how bad is Haynes then? If Haynes can't beat the guy out, how bad is Christian Haynes?
Yeah. And then the right tackle thing with
he's been okay,
Lucas
though.
Being out, Stone Forsythe.
But Forsythe's been okay. He's been good. He's been okay. It's Tomlinson hasn't been
but
good.
But he's your third string right tackle, though.
Well, I know. I understand that. I'm just saying that he's been okay. He hasn't. I mean, the Bradford and Tomlinson have not been good. They cannot figure out the offensive line.
And yet the offense has been okay, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been okay. But I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with who they've played. This is why, like, when you read off those numbers and people get some Seahawks fans, I just get so blinded. Like they're sometimes they're the most blinded fan base. Sometimes I mean, we're part of it. At least I'm part of it. Is like they don't want to accept. It's okay just to say that they really haven't played anybody. But then they can only play and beat the teams they've played, and they've done that. They've handled business. They've handled it. We would be killing them if they lost any of these teams, but they haven't lost any of them.
Right.
But they played crappy quarterbacks.
Well, don't you kind of like them in this game Monday night, though? I do, with the 3.5.
I don't.
You see Geno's numbers there in Detroit, how good he is in dome stadiums. Corbin Smith writing about it, SI.com. That's where I lifted that from. No, he's been terrific. So when you think about, I mean, how much do you figure in, historical stuff?
No, I mean, I like looking at it. Yeah, I saw that same stuff.
I mean, they've had track meet games with Detroit, so it should be fun. I mean, it should be an overplay.
Yeah, what's the over on? What's the total on that? I would take the over. It's like 54, 55 and a half, 54 and a half. Is that right?
It's not that much, is it?
Oh, maybe maybe that was the Washington game. I'll find it for you. Hold on. I got it for you.
Okay. Detroit, I think, is only averaging around 20 points a game.
Hold on, Jim.
I don't know where the Seahawks are, but it seems like it should be.
How about that missed field goal last night in the Cowboys-Giants game, huh?
Oh, God, I was happy about that. Yeah, I was sitting on you know what? Like, people are
45
going to
and a
look.
half is the total.
What is it?
45 and a half.
Oh, you got to go over all day long on that.
I would
Don't you?
I would go over, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, don't sleep on the Giants next week.
Ooh, yeah, they're pretty
I've
good.
always kind of liked Daniel Jones, and I'm not sure why. Can you explain to me why I would like Daniel Jones? Didn't he look pretty good last night?
He did. You're not the only one. Again, this is the third reference of Hugh Millen.
Where is he now?
Where's Hugh?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean, where is he? I don't know where he is. Like right now, this moment, I don't know. I talked to Hugh yesterday.
I was just trying to be funny, like you always like, hey, what happened to Dave Wyman? Where'd Dave Wyman go?
Yeah. Where is Wyman? It never happened to him. Yeah, I was explaining to Hugh our new defense that we put in for the Inter Bay Eagles. Inter Bay
Eagles.
There you go. You're supposed to chant.
You made them a 10.5 point favorite. I saw that on Twitter. Who you playing?
Everett, who beat us by 20.
Well, can I have the 10.5?
You can have it. Go ahead. I've installed a new defense. It's called the Bear defense. It's the Husky defense of the 90s. We're coming with pressure. We're going everywhere. We're blitzing from every angle. We're coming hard. I've been promoted from quality control coach to defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Can you look like Belichick and make goofy faces on the sideline?
I'm gonna look like Belichick, and then I'm gonna. Yeah. I can do whatever you want to do.
Put your hair in a bun. You got enough hair to put a bun? Do a bun or whatever?
Do I have enough hair to put in a bun? I can try. No, I don't quite have that. No, I don't quite have that.
All right.
I can try.
I don't know why I keep making fun of him. His defense has been good.
Yeah, been good.
Yeah.
What
were we talking about? I lost my train of thought there.
Inter Bay. I was talking to Hugh. I was talking about the defense that we've installed. All right. You want to get some betting? Let's get some betting picks for this weekend. Okay. You want to what do you got? What's your best pick of the weekend? We're going to get to that here in a second. Okay. Because I want to know what your lock of the week is.
I think you already know.
Oh God, I love you. All right, let's talk to our handicapper.
Hey Troy.
It's Troy Wins from TroyWins.com.
Let me take over the show here.
Go ahead, Jim. Take it over.
Hey Troy, get this, man. TroyWins.com. This is the big tip you can give all your people that are calling in for $25 a week. Okay, they're giving Johnny football points this week. Come on, Heisman candidate John Mateer, and you're giving him points. Please.
Oh, you don't want my pick on that one later, Jim. They are running into a buzzsaw Saturday night. The blue turf.
Buzzsaw my ass.
Be rocking. Are they going to be able to stop the real Heisman trophies? The running back on Boise State. That's where the real Heisman trophy's at. Can the Cougs stop? Is he going to run? He's averaging 10 yards a carry, Jim. 10
so the guy that has better numbers through the first part of the season than the guy who won the Heisman Trophy last year is not a true Heisman candidate.
Guys, come on. You were just talking about the Seahawks playing somebody. How about the Cougs?
We beat two Power 5 teams. What are you talking about? Texas Tech and we beat your Washington Huskies.
I told you on the show that
we beat Texas Tech.
Come on.
They beat the Sun Devils.
Guys. Come on, guys.
Hey, can we get Troy to have some technical issues here?
Yeah.
Jeez,
Troy, can't hear you, Troy. Troy, are you there?
Yeah. Troy, is
Jim.
Troy there?
What's Jim using a webcam over there? I can't see Jim.
Come on.
Shut the fuck up, Troy.
Come on. That's a bad pick, Troy. It's a bad pick. Let's get into the picks. And again, if you want to play along with us up at PuckSports.com, you can still get in for the Pick'em game. You're going to be behind the 8 ball, but Troy's giving away a trip for 2 to Las Vegas, first round of the March Madness tournament. All expenses paid. You're going to be staying at the Circa Hotel. Play along with our Pick'em pool up at PuckSports.com. Still get in there. You pick every game against the spread. And, of course, all the NFL games. All right, let's start first here. We've got your Huskies on the road in hotbed New Jersey tonight. Troy Wins taking on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. The line's anywhere from a point to a point and a half in favor of Rutgers. What do you like?
Yeah, I will take Washington. I don't like the fact that they're getting on a plane and headed to New York. A tough road game. Rutgers is a good football team at home. They play much better at home. The real pick to me is on the under. It's 44.5 points. I think this goes well under the total. I think it's going to be like a slugfest, a lot of running the football, 20-17 type of football game. Side, I would go with Washington, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
All right, I owe you $20 from that bad bet I made on the Beavers against the Ducks. Can I go $20 on Rutgers, double or nothing?
Yeah, Jim, you're starting to run up a tab with me. I think you still owe me 20 from the Apple Cup. You took the Cougs 10 or more points, but that's all right.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll go 40. I'll go 40 on Rutgers then.
Okay, deal.
All right, sounds good. All right, Georgia and Alabama. The Crimson Tide. They're a 1-point underdog at home. Has that ever happened in the history of Alabama football?
Last time was 2007. Believe it or not, was the last time they were an underdog at home. Give me Georgia. I think Georgia's the better football team. I actually think this is a tough spot for DeBoer. Georgia did not look good against Kentucky. I get it, but I think this is a game that they're going to get up for. They just have too much talent. I think Georgia wins in a really close football game, 28-24. I'll take Georgia.
That's going to be a hell of a game, man. I'm
looking forward to that.
That's just going to be a blast, man. That whole environment's going to be nuts watching that game. All right, well, you teased what you're going to do earlier. Tomorrow night on the blue turf, Johnny Football and the Cougs taking on Boise State. The Broncos favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they proved me wrong. I get it, but this is a pretty good Boise State football team. I know they lost to Oregon in a shootout. They obviously they beat Georgia Southern in a shootout. This is a good Boise team. I just think it's a tough road game for the Cougs. The defense hasn't shown that they can really stop the run. I like Boise State, guys. I'm sorry, 35-20. Give me Boise State Broncos.
35-20?
35-20, guys. 35-20. Hey, if you go back and listen, I called the Apple Cup 24-20 Cougs, and it was, 24-19? So 35-20.
Don't worry about it. I will save.
You guys
I'll
don't even
save,
have to watch the game.
There's some other games you were terrible with, though, Troy.
I'll save the video of this. Don't worry about it. I'll save the video where you said 35-20. Don't worry about it. I got it.
How's this working out, Puck? I'm trashing on your guest here.
I got
Troy
it.
Troy knows I love him.
Hey, Troy's going to come after you. He knows people that will come down to Bend and take you out.
Come down and play golf here, Troy. The golf courses are awesome down here.
I'm waiting on my invite, Jim.
Yeah,
I hear good things.
Okay, you're invited right now.
I hear good things.
Look at him kissing up to you. All right, Jim, go over to the NFL.
Crooked River Ranch. I'll take you there. You'll love it. They got the Sandbagger Saloon there. It's awesome. All right, so we got the NFL. We got Baltimore and Buffalo this week. A hell of a game. Ravens a 2.5-point favorite over the unbeaten Bills.
Yeah, this one's a head scratcher to me. I think the wrong team's favored until you see Buffalo lay an egg, which they haven't done yet. I got to go with the Bills. To me, right now, through 3 weeks, they are by far and away the most complete team in the NFL. I didn't think that going into the year, but after 3 games, they really passed the eye test. Josh Allen's playing phenomenal football. The Ravens just haven't looked good. I get they got the win against the bad Cowboys team. Hate to say that, but a bad Cowboys team. That's all they got. I think Buffalo goes in and beats them. It's going to be a close game, but give me the Bills 27-24. I think they win the game outright.
Okay, the Monday night game, the Lions and the Seahawks. Everyone is banged up, right? Ragnow is out for Detroit, and most likely Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy will be out for the Seahawks. Seahawks are on the all white. They're in their icy whites. Oh, that's another reason why the Cougs are going to win tomorrow. And Jim knows this because we're in our icy whites, and I don't think we've ever lost in those. All right, the Lions are favored by 3.5 against the Seahawks. Troy, who do you like?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think the real play's on the over. That seems pretty darn low. I think the Lions, without Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy, they are going to gash that Seahawk defense with Montgomery. I just think the Lions are the better football team. This line's not high enough. That place is going to be rocking on Monday night. I get Geno Smith's played well there in the past, but give me the Lions in a shootout. I think it's going to be a 31-24 type of football game, 31-26 type game, but give me the Lions minus the points.
Okay. All right, Troy.
Hey, before we get to your lock, can I get a bonus pick from you? The Inter Bay Eagles are favored by 10.5 over Everett. Do you like taking the points or giving them?
Despite Everett winning by 25 in the first meeting.
Really? Wow. Everett's turning around football program, huh?
Yeah, they're good.
I think the head high school coach, Mark Stewart, I used to coach. He's an old Husky.
Okay.
I coached with Mark Stewart. He's a good football coach. So I'll take Everett.
Everett's a good squad. They're very, very multiple, but what they don't understand, and we're tipping our hand, there's a brand new defense coming at them tomorrow afternoon.
I'm looking
The best
forward
thing
to
about
that.
the best thing, it's an Inter Bay Eagles home game, and you'd say, well, that's great. It's going to be an Inter Bay, like by Ballard and by Magnolia. No, it's over in Montlake. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. I remember those days.
All right, what do we got for your lock of the week? Give it to us.
Yeah, we're 1-0. Last week we gave you guys Florida State, and they ended up taking down Cal in a shootout, 14-9. This week we're going with the Baylor Bears. They are -3 at home against BYU. Baylor, boy, my only concern is if these guys have a little bit of a hangover losing the way they lost to Colorado last week, but they had Colorado beat on the road. This is a really good Baylor team. They're well coached. They got a good quarterback. To me, BYU is a fraud. This is a tough game for them. I think Baylor is going to be pissed off after the way they lost to Primetime and Colorado last week. Give me the Bears -3. That game Saturday morning on national TV. Baylor wins in a big way, 31-20. Give me the Bears as my lock of the week.
Yeah, can I sneak in one more?
You bet.
Can I do it for you? Oregon -25.5 at UCLA.
That one's a little bit of a head scratcher. I thought UCLA was bad. They actually competed at LSU last week.
They played well.
They played well. Garbers looked okay at quarterback. I'm with you. To me, it's not a big game for Oregon to get up. I would probably take 25 points at home. I would, but I also
Oregon hasn't looked great.
Yeah, I hear you. They did go into Corvallis and get the big win, 49-14. I think UCLA is a similar team to Oregon State, but I'm with you. I would probably grab 25 points at home.
And how about the line? I'm not asking you to pick this game, but I mean the line, Texas, #1 in the country, in an SEC game, Mississippi State, right? The line is 37.5. That is unbelievable.
It's funny you say that, Puck. I was thinking, how could Mississippi State have fallen off that much over the last few years? How could you not recruit at that program? So they missed Mike Leach. Holy smokes.
I saw that line and I was just like, you don't see, right, Jim? You know this. You don't see too many lines when you get in a conference play. That is that much. I mean, you see it every now and again, but not like that.
Yeah, no, Troy, I think you're right about, that program, because I bet on Mississippi State. Was it last week or the week before? They were home underdog to Florida, and Florida with Billy Napier on the hot seat, and Florida just, took it to them. So, there's something to miss there with that program, so I can see why the line would be like that. The one last thing I have for you, Troy, is why do you think BYU is a fraud? And I say that just because I think they've been hot, haven't they?
They've been hot. They've snuck on the road and gotten some decent wins. But to your point, I don't think they've really beaten anybody yet that's worthy. And I think they're going to go on the road and run into a really good, hungry Baylor team. So we'll see what you tell me what the record is after next week, Jim, and you'll say, you know what, he's right. They were fun.
Hey, he is just scold him, tell him when he's an idiot, Troy. Do it.
Yeah,
I love you, Troy.
I mean, I was listening to you guys before. Jim, you got to quit trolling the Huskies, man.
Why?
You're gonna your house is gonna be TP'd. You're gonna have your car.
No one. Why can't we? It's a rivalry, for God's sakes.
Yeah, you just got to. I root for the Cougs. Come on.
No, you don't. You're picking against them tomorrow.
We don't want you rooting for us.
Yeah, we don't want that. No one cares when a Husky fan goes, well, I'm rooting for you. We don't care.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
enough. We want you to lose. That's why we're taking the Scarlet Knights big
tonight.
Go
Broncos, baby. Go Broncos.
There you go.
There, yeah.
It is.
Because I don't ever want Jim to ever mention that the Cougs have a shot at the 12-game playoff again. I don't want to hear it ever again. So this was you better.
I'm just hoping we can win this week. We have a bye next week,
because this is the last time you can kind of enjoy this. You have a chance. At the
you don't think they've got a shot at it?
No, they got a shot.
If they go undefeated.
To Jim's point, if they go undefeated, it really would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what they do with it. I'm with Jim on that. I was even looking at Army. I was just talking to a buddy this morning. Army or Navy could go undefeated this year, and how cool would it be to see Army get into the playoff? I mean, Army's
not
only
cool.
Tough game. Army's only. I think it'd be fun to see.
Not cool at all. I don't want to see Army in a triple option with no offense.
Why not?
Hey, look, boys, they're handing it off again.
Oh, great! Another handoff. Great, awesome.
was talking to a buddy this morning, and I'm in disbelief that nobody can seem to stop that offense. I mean, they're putting up 40 every single night. They got Notre Dame at home on November 23rd, and if they beat Notre Dame at home, they're going to run the table. So it'd be
You know what?
interesting to see.
Hey, Troy, they're lucky the Cougs aren't on their schedule
Yeah,
because
we
they'd
would
be stopping that.
Oh,
that
God,
offense.
we'd bitch slap that thing all the way around.
The Cougs are busy scheduling San Jose State and Portland State.
So I'll tell you what, San Jose
yeah.
State was a better matchup than Washington. That's got to feel sucky for a Husky fan.
The Cougs need to go into the Big Sky.
Oh,
That's where
yeah.
they need to go. The
Does
Big
it
Sky.
pain you?
Okay,
Does it,
this is better, Troy.
yeah. Does
this
it
is
pain
better.
you? Does it pain you that San Jose State had better athletes up front than Washington?
It does. It
Yeah.
does. I'm going to be curious where Washington finishes out. If they don't at least split the next 2 games, it could be an ugly season.
I'll tell you where they're going to 4-8. Book it. 4-8 or 5-7.
I know, but we kind of want Fish to have a decent season so he can still
I
be a
know.
candidate down there.
That's right. Can you get next week, Troy? Can you get us odds on the Fish to Florida?
I will. I'm very curious about that as well. It'll be interesting because you got to think. I mean, Napier might be. I don't think he makes it through this season, so we'll see.
No.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
We'll see
there's
what
no
happens.
way. All right, hey, I know you got more than just football and all that up at TroyWins.com. Please tell our audience where they can find what else you guys got cooking up right now.
Yeah, we're on a great run right now. Come to the website TroyWins.com. Happy to give you a free pick. The Instagram is It's Troy West. Everything we do is documented. We cover everything. We cover UFC. We cover boxing, golf, basketball, college basketball, you name it, NFL, college football. We cover it all. It's TroyWins.com. Very affordable. And if you're not happy with the service, we'll always give you your money back, guaranteed. So appreciate it, guys.
You're the best. You're the best. Thanks for doing it. And thank you for you got into the spirit of trash talking the rivalry. That's what it's all about.
I'm mad at Jim. I can't wait to text you. Are you going to be asleep, Jim, at 10 p.m. tomorrow? When I text you, I told you so.
You know how tired that whole thing is with old people going to bed early. You know how tired that is, Troy. Yeah,
I bet.
Although you know what, Troy, to your point, I went to bed at 9:30 last night.
Oh, good for you.
I heard the Cougs San Jose State game was like a 4.5 hour game.
Yeah, it didn't get over to like 12:15. It's unbelievable. I didn't go to bed till
I was
1:30.
there. I was still awake even.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, Troy, we'll talk to you next week.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Good luck.
Yeah, there he is. Troy Wins from TroyWins.com. Yeah, we finally got into him. You know?
Yeah, you always say someone's the best.
I know.
Can't there only be one person who's the best?
And I don't mean it.
Yeah. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. You got like 18 guys you say that to, that they're the best. So.
Well, it's just a thing I say. Can you just, is that okay?
Troy is still sideways on my screen.
I
Is
know.
that just me?
He needs to exit out.
I like it with Troy giving me shit. That was pretty good.
Well, it's good. It's the way it should be. It's the way it should be.
And then I'm trashing on him for having some terrible picks.
No, I mean, but it should be. That's what it's all about. We're giving him shit about his Washington team, and he's giving us shit about the Cougs. I mean,
God, that was
honestly. He's probably going to be right on Boise. I don't think it's going to be a 15-point game, but the Boise wins by a touchdown. Yeah, that's a hell of a matchup tomorrow for them. Their defense is just not good, and I hope they surprise me tomorrow. But it's going to take probably another Johnny Football miracle tomorrow on the blue turf.
Oh yeah, but he's capable of doing that. I mean,
yeah, he is.
But you're right. I mean, we held the Huskies to 19 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know, Puck. I can't wait for that game. I just can't wait. Should I drive to Boise?
Oh, so you're going to go. The kids are going. Do you have tickets?
Huh? I don't. No, but should I go and beg for them like I did the other day?
I mean, if you want to. I mean, how long of a drive from Bend to Boise is that?
It's shorter than going to Pullman.
Oh, really?
It's I don't know, 280 miles or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I think you should go. I've driven through Boise. I have never spent any time there. I think you should go. I would go.
And then isn't that kind of semi on your bucket list, your college football bucket list, to go see the blue turf sometime?
Not really, but I think it'd be. I would want to go spend a couple nights in the city because I just heard it's great. So it's a good. You know what? Because it's a good atmosphere. They always have a packed crowd, and it'd be good.
Yeah,
I would do it.
Thinking about it. Yeah,
I think you should do it. All right, you want to get into some we finally have some Friday voicemails. You want to get into it before we let you go?
Yeah,
And
how
then
many do we
get into
have?
We've got, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that was always a good day on the show. Whenever we had 4 voicemails, or if we had 5.
Yeah. We've got Cam Ward. We've got Jedd Fisch.
Oh, nice.
I got a Geno, and then I got a special appearance from Howard Cosell. You want to? All right, let's go. Let's first start with our former quarterback, Cam Ward, who actually is playing tonight. You know, they're playing against Virginia Tech, Inner Sandman.
I'm taking the 17 with the Hokies tonight.
Are you taking 17? All right, Cam Ward checking in here on voicemails.
Say, Buck, this is Cam Ward. I hear you've been talking bad about me, saying Wazoo would have lost the Apple Cup if I was playing. Man, you know I taught little homie Mateo everything he knows. You gonna quit talking bad about me, Puck. I tell you what, if you're lucky, I'll invite you to New York City for my Heisman ceremony. We all know you was my biggest fan the last 2 years. Go Canes!
Not bad. It's okay. It could do a little bit better. I don't know if he says go Canes at the end or cocaine.
I think it was Go Canes.
Oh, was it? Was it Go Canes? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Go Canes.
So there is. There's Cam Ward checking in tonight. I saw the other ESPN betting thing this morning. He's the #1 guy for the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, you enjoy that, don't you?
No, I don't.
Do you think he's asking Miami for more money like he did us last year? Aren't they 4-0?
Yes.
Yeah, probably
Guaranteed.
already asking for more.
Guaranteed. He's asked for more.
Yeah, well, God, you don't think he's going to win the Heisman?
I mean, if he keeps it up, if he keeps up putting up these numbers, they don't play anyone. It's amazing. They play no one.
I think you're right, though. Isn't there going to come a point where he just does something really boneheaded and you'll kind of go, yeah, see?
Oh, he will. He's done it already. He's just gotten away with it. He's gotten away with it some of these games.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's going to be an interesting game for him, and you're going to laugh at it. And it's actually next week. Do you know who they play on October 5th? This is the game that I think he may get exposed. They play at Cal.
They're playing at Cal?
That's
right.
As much as you and I make fun of Wilcox,
no, he's
a good defensive coordinator, and he's a good defensive coordinator. And he's seen him because of obviously the last 2 years in the conference. There's going to be no one that's going to know from that schedule that they have in the ACC. No one is going to know him more than Justin Wilcox. So I think that's going to be the first.
How'd
game.
Ward do against Cal last year? Did we play him last year?
You know what? Let me check on that. God, can I just wait on that now? Now you got me intrigued. I'm going to find that out. All right, you want to hear? Let's hear next one. Jedd Fisch.
We now go back live to another Jedd Fisch press conference. Hey Jedd, what's your favorite holiday? Oh, that's an easy one. I love Thanksgiving. Huh? I didn't know you liked your family so much. Family? No. Thanksgiving's the only holiday every year that you're guaranteed to get some NFL action. Speaking of family, though, damn it, my wife's calling. Hang on, guys. Hey, honey, what's going on? Yeah, I know. I get it. I know. It does that up here. It rains. Well, you know what? Why don't you just put on one of those 32 NFL jackets that I got you? You know, the ones just in case for next year? Plus, nothing helps to get the little fish to start swimming upstream like when I see you put on some officially licensed NFL merchandise. Oh, shit, I gotta go. Hey, guys, I'm sorry I had to hear about that little fetish of mine, but speaking of fetishes, did you know that Rex Ryan's got a foot fetish? That guy coached in the NFL. He's so cool.
A lot of NFL. He did his NFL. I got a guy on Twitter that every time he mentions NFL tells me to drink. There's another NFL thing this week where he talked about how their travel schedule. They've talked to the Seahawks and NFL teams about going back to the East. So
did he?
Yeah, he loves his NFL. No one loves to drop more NFL news and nugget, just saying NFL than Jedd Fisch. No one.
Yeah. Yeah, so he found out about the sleep schedule.
The travel. Okay, I answered your question before we get to Geno from Dino's. Last year, they lost to Cal by 3. He had a pretty good game. He threw for a bunch of yards, but completion percentage was bad. 3 touchdowns and a pick. And then his first year against Cal, they won 28-9, and he had a good game. So, yeah, he was 27 of 40, 343, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. So he's been decent against Justin Wilcox. So maybe not.
So you want to retract what you were saying about Wilcox then?
Nope. No,
Okay.
Stick to it.
Right.
Stick to it.
Okay.
Come on, Wilcox. Jim and I have always been big supporters of you.
What, you're going to root against a former Coug quarterback? Just say yes. That's all you have to say is yes.
I just don't care for him. Okay, I just don't.
But why root against him now? Because we're happy that we have Mateer. And
Yeah,
so...
we are. That's true. If he didn't go, we wouldn't have gotten Mateer. All right, Geno from Dino's checks in. We love Geno.
Geno from Dino's. Go Hawks. Hey, Geno. Yeah, Geno has to do everything during these games. Don't know if you guys noticed, but during all those flags, refs weren't calling out the right guys that were getting the numbers wrong. So Geno had to correct him on, no, you meant number that guy. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys also noticed, Geno was counting how many defenders were on the field during special teams. 12. No, timeout, coach. Yeah, 11. Anyway, golly. Ow.
I just love how slurry he is. That's always my favorite. Who doesn't love Geno?
Oh God, it's good. He's always a little bit hammered, isn't he?
He's just a little bit. All right, last voicemail in anticipation for Monday Night Football. Jim, it's a lengthy one. You usually get these 30 seconds. Your good friend, you remember Howard Cosell. Check it out.
Greetings, Mr. Puckett and Mr. Moore. It's me, Howard Cosell, to set up this outstanding matchup with the 3-0 Seattle Seahawks and the 2-1 Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football. The Seattle Seahawks with their brand new head coach, one of the most boring, flatline, no-pulse, clinical HR corporate head coaches in the league, Mike McDonald, facing the fire and brimstone head coach of Detroit, Dan Campbell. But can the Seattle quarterback, once a journeyman, now a statistical juggernaut, Mr. Geno Smith, can he carry his Seahawks past the Lions and get by this man? Number 97, Aiden Hutchinson, the pride of University of Michigan, and now the All-Pro from Detroit. We'll find out right here on Monday Night Football.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad. That was fantastic.
It's one of the best ones we've ever received. I mean, the absolute one of the best ones ever.
That was Howard Cosell.
But then mixing in the video. I mean, he's got the sound. Unbelievable.
No, and he had this man. He said this man a lot.
Oh, okay. Is that what he said?
No, you know what occurred to me though is that so many people that are listening and watching right now have never heard of Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard of Howard Cosell, just Google his name and go watch some of his videos. Some of the best Howard Cosell. Do Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali. And do watch interviews with Howard with Ali. It was just fantastic.
Okay.
Really good stuff.
That's voicemails, Friday voicemails. So that was good. Not bad.
That was great.
We need to hear from Jamal Adams. We need a Pete Carroll.
We need Carroll back.
Yeah, we do.
You're right. We really need Jamal from Nashville. Just, we need a progress report.
Is he done though? Isn't he done?
I don't know. Is it the last I heard he was still there? Is he not there? Isn't he and Quandre hanging out?
No. I mean, like he's there, but I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's doing anything.
Is he still like on the IR or what's he on?
I remember he got hurt earlier in the season, and then I don't think he's ever come back. I don't think he's come back.
Well, that's why we need an update from him.
He
needs to call.
Not really checking in all that much with the Tennessee Titans. Before we let you go and we get Chris Egan on here for his I'm gonna lay into Egan because he laid into me last week. 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna lay into him, calling me a bad fan for rooting against the Mariners. I'm gonna lay into him.
Well, you were just being a realistic fan.
Did you you probably saw the highlights yesterday from the A's? God, that was just sad. It's just sad.
Oh. Yeah, the worst one for me was seeing the head groundskeeper being consoled, the picture of him being consoled as he
I
walked
missed
off
that.
the
I didn't
field.
see that.
That just, I mean, yeah, 31 years.
Yeah.
It just, all the blood, sweat, and tears that he put into keeping that field, up to par. And yeah, and you feel for the A's fans too. Like, I know that they weren't showing up, but who's going to show up for a lame duck team? And when you get treated like shit the way they've been treated. And that's kind of like what you were talking about, how you would like to see things this weekend at T-Mobile. I mean, you've been treated like shit, so why should you support them? So,
and again, they're not moving. Everyone, I hear the same response, and I'm going to get to it. And hey, what the puck? Well, you want them to move? They're not going to go anywhere. Their lease is through like 2045. They're not going anywhere. They're not getting out of the lease. They'd be fools to leave. They're making so much money here. The one thing I thought about yesterday, because I saw some great commentaries from a lot of great people that cover baseball. Buster Only, MLB.com, MLB Network did something, Scott Van Pelt did something, and they were all great. But then I also got a little angry with all of them. Where was this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? And part of the problem and part of the responsibility, I think, from the media is to spotlight situations like this, to bring it. That's the role of the media, to hold those in power accountable. It's the role of a newspaper, whether people like the newspaper or not. It's the role of the newspaper to hold the people in power accountable. And so is the role for the news media and sports media to hold those accountable. And I thought back to when the Sonics were going through their situation with Clay Bennett and the NBA, and no one in the national media, not a single one of them said anything. Didn't say how wrong it was, nothing. And let it just happen on their watch without bringing it to light. And when you bring stuff to light more, maybe things change. And that's what I thought about yesterday with Oakland. And all those commentaries from Scott Van Pelt, MLB Network, and Buster Only were great. But I'm wondering, where was it years ago? Why didn't you stand up to baseball years ago? And the problem is with a lot of them is they're all tied to those leagues. So Scott Van Pelt or Buster Only, they can't come down on Rob Manfred. They can't be critical of Major League Baseball. Why? Because they're in bed with them.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars are exchanging hands between those two. And so again, it was nice what they said, but I think people say nice things on the way out rather than, hey, where was the investigative piece by ESPN 4 years ago? But why is this happening? How do we stop this? What do we do to prevent this from happening? Not to say that it would change anything. I'm just saying to bring it more to light.
No, that's a fair point. But yeah, there are all these people talking about it yesterday and how sad it was. And maybe it could have been avoided if they'd been more proactive with their reporting.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go. Sorry that we kept you so long. You're the best. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll talk to you on Monday. Good. Have fun in Boise. Hopefully you go. Say hi to the boys. And go Cougs.
Yeah, go Cougs, Buck. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, you are welcome. There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us here every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's bring in the great Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you, sir?
Jason Puckett, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good. Sorry that you still see Jim Moore up there, but look at him. Doesn't he look catatonic?
I don't see Jim.
Oh, I thought you did. Maybe it's just on my screen.
I don't see Jim. I see you, though, and I see you wearing a Puyallup Vikings hat. That's awesome. Way to go.
Not a Puyallup Vikings hat. Stop it. Would never support the Vikings. That's the new team I'm going to root for eventually with the Mariners. That's the Portland Diamond Project. Years ago is the group that's trying to bring professional baseball to Portland. And when it does when they do get baseball there in Portland, which they just bought some land, do you think they'll get to the postseason faster than the Mariners?
More than likely, yes, Puckett. Yes, they will. Is Russell Wilson part of that ownership group, by the way, still?
Yes. Well, I think so.
I think he is, actually.
But like, how much money is he really, like, isn't he a part of the Sounders too and the Kraken?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What did he put in, like $1,000?
It's a good investment, actually. You put in this money, it probably doubles quickly. Hey.
I think it does. So should I attack you right away, or you want me to wait?
You can come at me right away, Puck. You know what? I've been taking it all week long. It's been a tough week. I was contemplating having a bag over my head for this entire podcast today. But go ahead, bring it on. It is gut wrenching, and then you just start looking back at the history of this team, and everybody's making a big deal about this year, and you start, how do we learn in school? You learn through history, and maybe I guess we should have looked at last year a little bit harder, and been a little bit better prepared for this season because. You know what? You had a lot of the same talent last year, and you didn't make it last year, and you came off that historic playoff run the year before, and it's just been 2 years of hell. And I don't want to watch one playoff game. I'm sorry. You know what? My team is out. The team I've been rooting for since 1979 when I went to go see Ray Fosse and the Oakland A's take on the Mariners. At the Kingdom. And.
Great poll.
Bring it at me, Puck, because I'm ready to go. It's fine. What I don't get, Puck, and I'll let you go ahead and do this, is just everybody loves to jump on social media and just berate this team and just look at me. I was right. I said they should have. I'm right. And you know what? So good for everybody that was right. I was wrong, and I'm a big man, and I'm willing to admit it. I thought this team, Puck, with the pitching staff, I really thought they were going to make a run and get into the playoffs, and they did not. And I'm not blaming it on the bullpen, but honestly, when spring training, you had guys like Matt Brash go down. Little things started happening. Sure. And those little things, I'm sorry, but Matt Brash, in my mind, he was probably good for 5 or 6 wins. They didn't have them all season long.
For sure.
And that's just one little thing. I don't think their setup guys were ever really there this season like they've been in the past. But in the end, it all comes down to offense. And you've been saying it from the beginning. They didn't do enough. And sure enough, they're not in the playoffs.
The Chris Egan Show is brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza, 3 locations in Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Book one of their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, and corporate events. Find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, at fatzachspizza.com. Every Friday here with Chris Egan. I'm not
going
to lay into you at all.
No,
I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to just say this because it's in reference to Fat Zach's. Tonight, 3 of the hottest moms in the Puyallup Valley will be at Fat Zach's. That's Melanie, Tanya, and Marty. They run every morning together in their Lululemons, and they'll be there getting ready for the big Emerald Ridge Puyallup Vikings football game tonight. And they usually stop at Fat Zach's for a side salad, a little Chardonnay, and then they walk on over to Spark Stadium. So, hey, make sure to drop by and say hi to Mel, Marty,
do they wear
Tanya.
T-shirts that we're the 3 hottest moms in the South Sound, or what?
I've labeled them that.
You've labeled it.
I've labeled them the 3 hottest moms of the South Sound. Yes.
Do they bring the coffee mug to the game?
Oh, Hunter Boots, coffee mug. One of them will be wearing the modern day sombrero hat. They're all about their style.
How do they get the wine into the game?
I don't think it's tough. They probably know everybody that's taking the tickets, so it's just a hey, how you doing? Hey, and then boom, they're through.
Like the box wine, do they take it out like a trick? You take it out, you have the little,
I don't think they're doing box wine. I think they're probably pouring a little, Drew Bledsoe.
You can bring some. What I'm saying with box wine is that you just take you take it out of the box and you have the bladder. Someone stuffs it down, their pants, and now you got the bladder in there, and away you go.
Maybe they do that at Ballard in Puyallup. We're more about Boone's wine. That's kind of what we were growing up on, was the Boone's.
Hey, there's some good box wine, man. I'm going to tell you.
There is some good. But go ahead, Puck. I'm not going
to lay into you.
Here's my point, Puck.
And I'm not
Here's
taking a victory tour for the team. I've said it. I just think we are in with this group. I love the players and I love baseball. We are just in an abusive relationship with this ownership group. And the problem is nothing's going to change because they're not going to sell the team. So you got to get over that. You just got to get over it because we can pick it and do whatever we want. They're not going to sell. They're never going to sell.
Why would you sell?
Because exactly. They wouldn't. It's just too much money. They'll sell eventually. They're not going to sell that. They're making money. They're producing money every year. They're like, why would we sell when we're just getting richer and richer and richer every year? But I just think it's It's unfortunately, it does not, that team, that organization does not have a culture of winning, and they need a culture of winning.
How do you, Puck, though? Here's my question, because everybody can go on this week and rant, rave. Number one, everybody says, sell the team. Well, I think you and I have made that very clear to everybody on social media, everybody listening to the Daily Puck Drop, everybody that's listening is, why would you sell something that's profitable? That's not going to happen. So let's just take that. Let's take that off. Okay. So if you are going to have a rant, it's the political season right now where everybody wants to say stuff, but nobody ever wants to follow it up. You and I are not going to get into politics on this show. But what I want to do is have everybody just make a point like, okay, the team sucks. The team didn't make the playoffs. Now, what would you have done? What would you have done differently? What will you do differently next year? And unfortunately, because of X, only so many spaces, people just write, they stink, I'm done. They stink, I'm done. Sell the team, I'm done. But nobody takes it further, though, Puck, and says, you know what? I wouldn't have got Mitch Garver. Here's why. I wouldn't have got Jorge Polanco. Here's one reason why. So that's kind of where I wanted to expand on. And my thought process is this, Puck, and this won't happen, but this is what I've said on this show with you before, is I said they need to interview every single player that has come here and left and said, what happened in Seattle? And it needs to be an independent survey. It does not need to have Jerry Dipoto involved at all. Jerry, here are the results. We interviewed 100 players that you brought into Seattle that left, and when they all left, 98% of them did better. Here's the reasons why they did better. That's what I want to see. That's my only answer to get better. I'd love to hear your answers on how this team can get better.
Well, I think number one, it starts, I think, with the lack of financial commitment from the ownership group.
Okay, and I get that, but there are teams. There are teams, Puck, that are in the playoffs with less payroll.
Sure,
making the postseason.
Yeah, okay, but I just think that's number one. Number two, I think it's the lack of the ability from this front office to correctly identify positional players.
Okay.
I don't think they're not good at it. And I don't know why they're not good at it. They struggle to find positional players. And you would say, well, they get cheap players. Well, even when they get cheap players, they don't. A lot of teams get cheap players and they turn them into better players. But they have a hard time identifying positional talent. They don't have a hard time identifying pitchers. So that is point number three. Point number two. Number three, I think the front office led by the president is a toxic organization.
Okay.
I don't think he's well liked. I don't think he's well respected. And I think that hurts him with free agency. And I think it hurts him with players. And it hurts the overall product of the team. I've heard from too many people who used to work there. It is just not the best, and he doesn't treat people the best. And I think that sprinkles down to the whole organization. I think you hear players. You hear players talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Do you think the manager was too tight to that front office as well?
Well, yeah, they were attached at the hip, and I do believe I don't think it is as bad as some have pointed out that where like the front office just takes down the lineup and hands it to them. But I also would push back on those who say that doesn't happen, to say they're heavy-handed a lot, and they need to understand their role. Their role, Jerry Dipoto's role, is to put the team together and then get out of the way of the lineup.
Yeah.
And stop meddling with the manager. Let the manager handle the pitchers. Let the manager handle the lineup. And I think that they have meddled way too much with that, and they did that with Service because he could do it with Service. Now, maybe he can't do it with Dan Wilson, because I don't think Dan Wilson was his call. I think Dan Wilson was probably the call of above him. But, I think those are the factors. I don't know, 0.4 or 5. I just think offensively, this ballpark is an issue. I don't know how they fix it. We're so far up here. They have such a this ballpark has such a negative vibe around it for offensive players that they just cannot attract free agents here ever.
Puck, you've been around this game a long time. I think there's people listening to this podcast. They're going to ask this question, and I'm asking it to you myself as well, because I don't know the answer. Why can't they fix it? We see remodels happening all the time. The Washington State Fair just ended. They're fixing things that weren't great. A mall is changing storefronts. Why can't they fix the ballpark?
I'm sure they can. I don't know. Money?
Let's take the independent survey then. I'm sure every player would mention the ballpark. Why wouldn't we fix it then?
I think it's money. I think it would cost too much money.
They're making enough money, Puck. Come on. I don't think this is I also think it's a group,
but I also think it's a group that doesn't. I mean, think about this, Chris. When they upgrade their stadium, they don't even do it themselves. They make the county pay for it. So it's just like, sure, let's fix it up, but when it comes to fixing it up, yes, they put some of their money to do it, but a lot of that money comes from the county. It comes from taxpayers. So it's, but when it's Hatback Grill time, oh no, we'll do that all on our own, because Hatback Grill will equal more revenue for them. I mean, whatever. I would, sit down with current and past players and ask them about the dimensions. Kruger's come on here and said many times there's something, and you heard it was Teoscar talking about it.
Teoscar Hernandez, yes, yeah.
But Bill Kruger was the first one to bring this up, and it was months before Teoscar. He talked about it being skewed, that from the batter's eye, it's not lined up. Second base isn't lined up to center field, and so it screws them up from a hitter's perspective. And so I don't know how you change that.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer there. I just don't know why that one can't get fixed. I honestly do. And
maybe
because
you'd have to move the pen. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if we're talking about all these years of not making the playoffs and the frustrations, and if the fans stop showing up, then you know what? You've got to do something. So I think that's an investment that needs to be made. I think you made the point there. It will be interesting what they do with a manager. Will this be Jerry DePoto's?
Well, he's coming back. He's the manager.
Well, I know he's coming back, but who is going to take over the team, Puck? I also feel like, God, I love Dan Wilson. I love Edgar Martinez. I grew up around these guys. I mean, they brought so much. This team also needs a manager, and we're never going to get another Lou Piniella, but we need somebody that's going to get in these guys' faces and rip up some contracts when they lose a 10-run lead. We need somebody that when you miss your cutoff from center field to shortstop to hold the runner at first base, we need a manager that's waiting for you when you're in the dugout and is going to scream in your face. We need, when you get picked off at third, we need a manager, Puck, that's going to get a little nasty here.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm sorry, not every Mariner player gets a ribbon because you're not going to the playoffs. Okay. I know we live in a society where you could take 17th place in the 6th grade run, you get a ribbon. But you know what? They're not getting a ribbon this year, Puck. They're not getting a ribbon.
Can they do that tonight, please? Can they hand out, like at the end of the game before the fireworks tonight, because it's fan appreciation night? Can they just hand out like a
ribbon?
Every player should get a little plaque tonight. Just want to thank Julio. He really just displayed. You didn't have a good year this year, but really just displayed great heart and was always there on time. Sometimes he didn't have his shoes tied, but we would get that for him. But Julio, come on up. Here's your award, and make sure you get some of that pizza before you go.
You know what, Puck? We need, and I know you're going to hate this. Puck. After every game, win or loss, I want to see that manager in the middle of the field with all the Mariners around him, Puck. I want to see this after every game. And I want the fans around. I want that manager on the mound with the whole team around. And he's going to look around. Jorge, 0 for 4 today. We got to be better. You got to
hit the cutoff. I don't like the garbage in the dugout.
Yeah. And you know what? That manager should be Mike, so everybody in the stadium can hear him. And then everybody can just sit. Yeah.
Do we allow the loved ones, family and friends to come down on the field, but they've got to stay away? And
they've got to stay away.
And then they're looking at their watches and their phones. I mean, we got to get to dinner tonight. I mean, it's a school night. What are we doing here?
How long is manager Chris? He said the game was over at 9:30. They're still going. You know what?
Guys, we're going to meet over in right field for our players meeting. Leave your bags. Julio, let's go. I'm in, Chris. I'm in.
Back to the basics, Puck. Back to the basics. Because otherwise, at this point, keep handing them the 17th place ribbon. And you know what?
God, I'm so in. I would do as much as I hate those meetings.
Yes, you do.
I would pay whatever amount of money to see Dan Wilson do that next season.
Yeah. And just, you know what?
Crisscross applesauce, guys. Sit down. Come on, get on down.
Hey, Victor Robles, 2 for 3 tonight. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2. Okay, way to go.
Claps. I love the claps.
Cal Raleigh.
Let's hear for Cal Raleigh. Took one in the nuts again, okay?
Kind of a heck of a game tonight. 2 claps on 2.
Oh.
George Kirby pitched great for 5 innings. My bad for having you pitch the 6th inning. That's my bad. I'm taking that one on the team right now.
Guys, before you leave, George's mom brought some snacks, so let's make sure you pick up the snacks on your way out. But listen, guys, pick up the dugout. We're not going anywhere until you all pick up the dugout.
Hey, guys, let's have a team vote. We're 17-1 wearing the Seattle Select. Should we wear them on Tuesday? Should we wear them on? Raise your hand if you want to go with the Seattle
guys,
Select.
and we're going to talk to your parents after the game. Listen, no more food in the dugout. I mean, snacks or a bar is fine, but we've got Julio's mom is bringing down a charcuterie board, and the kids and the team is distracted right now. So can we not have that in the dugout, please?
Oh, Puck. How fitting is it, Puck, that it's Adam Frazier, by the way, that knocked you out of the playoffs?
Didn't even get that. That was the best part yesterday. It was Adam Frazier's the one who knocked him out.
Adam
Frazier
gets a base hit to left field, just putting the ball in play. You know, I watched that guy for like 18 innings against the Astros, couldn't even hit the ball past the pitcher, and, boom, just base hit.
2 claps for Adam Frazier. God. Whose glove is this? We got a glove. You guys get your gloves?
Oh, man. Oh, yep. Just team meetings. Maybe more team meetings. Not in the dugout. Let's have it publicly so everybody can hear you. And you know what? That's the meeting then. Final question, Puck. Hey, guys, I want to throw this back at you guys. Anybody got any complaints? What do you got, Julio? Yeah, ballpark sucks. Okay. You want to change the dimensions? Cal, what do you got? Yeah, the batter's eye. I can't even see the ball. I'm striking out every time. Great point. We'll write that down. Okay. So
Victor, what do you got?
Hear it.
Victor, what do we got? Can we stop dropping the fucking hot dogs from the sky?
No wonder they can't hit. They got hot dogs dropping.
They're distracted with the hot dogs and the hydros and everything else that's going on.
Hot dogs from heaven. It should be hot dogs from hell. I'm not quite sure if we want anything.
It really should be. I told this to Jim earlier. I mean, the one thing that they won't do it, and I'm not going to help probably with anything, is they should everything should be free tonight. Steve Ballmer did in the last game of the year.
Yeah, everything
should be free. I mean, maybe not booze because you probably can't do booze, but everything should be free.
The owner of the Sounders, the movie producer, this was a while ago. They lost a game, I think, to LAFC, or the LA Galaxy came to Seattle. And they lost like 4-0. Yeah. And he was so embarrassed. He says, "If you came to that game tonight, I'm giving you free tickets to the next game." I love those moves. Yeah,
who did that?
That was, you remember their
they had a movie producer who used to be the guy.
Yeah, he was. They had not the Bruckheimers, but they had another big time movie producer was one of the original owners of the Sounders, and I'm blanking on his name right now. I feel bad, but he did that. Yeah. And then I think he since have sold most of his shares to Adrian Hanauer, but he was one of the original majority owners of the Sounders. Gosh, I'm blanking on that one, Puck. I apologize. But this was like 10 years ago. They lost to the Galaxy, and he said, "You know what? If you're at that game tonight, it was absolutely garbage. I'm gonna give you a free ticket to the next game."
What happens if they do? I don't know when they do the hot dogs from heaven. Do they only do it on Sunday? They do it randomly, right?
Yeah.
I've never been to a game this year where they did it.
I've not seen it either.
Throw them on the field.
It doesn't that seem like I mean, my question is always would the Yankees do that? I mean, yes, is that something maybe you do up at Everett, with the Aqua Sox? Sure, but come on.
I don't know. I get it. I mean, people want to make fun of whatever. I don't care. I think you're trying to always make the experience fun and entertaining for people, but sometimes I think the baseball should just be the entertaining part. Unfortunately, the baseball's not entertaining, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't bother me like it bothers other people, but I would just throw them on the field. Yeah, here's your hot dog. Just throw them out there. Do you think there'll be people with bags on their heads tonight and signs and all that?
Yes, there will be. I can guarantee in left field there'll be at least 3 or 4.
And do you think they'll be?
I know them, but
they'll be stopped. Oh, you know who that is going to be? Oh, you know who's going. All right, here we go.
Puckett, here's the big question, though.
Yeah.
Will they be shown on the broadcast?
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, that's the question.
Only if the camera has to go over there because it's a play. Yeah. But it's not going to be shown. Hey, Goldie's not going to be on there. God, I love Goldsmith to death. Let's go over to left field. That guy's got a bag on his head, huh? Let's show that, huh? I mean, Sim's not going to be like, hey now, there's a bag on his head. I love those guys, but they're not going to do that. I mean, Brad pregame, and gotta love Brad and Angie. Before we get to the game tonight, Angie was down on the field, and Jen was down on the field and interviewed Stevie from Sumner, who has come with a bag on his head. I mean,
well, tonight's all about getting ready for next season, getting a little momentum rolling into next season.
Jeez. But they'll be packed. There's going to be 40,000 people there tonight.
Yeah. And you know what, Puck? Does this one hurt more than any other year for you? It does for me.
Yeah,
I'm crushed. Yeah. I think maybe that's why I'm just not happy about it. I don't want to talk about it, and I'm fine talking about it with you, obviously.
Well, but you know who I want? And you brought this up to me earlier. Can Schmetzer coach them? Can he manage the team?
I mean, all the guy does is win.
Yeah.
This is a guy, the Sounders start the season off, and it looks like they're just going to have another, they're not another year. It looks like for the first time they're not going to make the playoffs, and somehow this guy just stays calm and cool. It's a long season. He knows how to get his team back into great form, and all of a sudden, they're sitting in the 4th or 5th seed possibly. They got a huge match on Saturday against Houston. This is a guy that knows how to get the best out of players. I mean, there's a couple local kids that I believe started playing soccer on like Capitol Hill, Jackson Reagan and Paul Rothrock. 2 names probably not huge in the sports world, but these are 2 guys that Schmetzer has just got and turned them into MLS stars. I mean, it's just like he knows how to develop these guys, and you can't give this guy enough credit for what he does over there with the Seattle Sounders and his love for Pacific Northwest sports. This is a guy that
and I just love him. I just wish every coach would listen to him, and I'm not even a soccer guy, would listen to him talk after a game in which they should have won, and how critical he is, not only himself, but his team.
Yeah.
He's just honest, and he doesn't sugarcoat it.
No, and he'll call out players if a player doesn't do something right. In fact, it was the other day I went to his practice on Monday, and he was complimenting one guy, and I think one member of the media goes, wow, that's, he doesn't usually do that. He doesn't compliment guys because if you're getting a compliment from Schmetzer, that means you're really doing something right. So you're right. I think in the end, he does not sugarcoat it. I'm pretty sure Schmetzer's having team meetings on the field afterwards, making the parents wait, and that's a good thing because he's keeping them rolling. Puck, I will say this. I was at the Monday press conference with McDonald, and that guy's the smartest man in the room.
It's a rough press conference.
I enjoy it, Puck, because here's the thing: is there's members of the media, and right here loves to get that emotional. Hey, let's go out there and kill him. Soundbite myself.
What does this mean to you? You're going back to Baltimore. Thoughts? Yeah. Okay,
but he's not going to give you much when you guess that. And I learned this, Puck, during the Olympics when I was interviewing the USA crew team. And there was like 4 engineering majors on that team from Harvard and Princeton. And when I asked them the emotional, what does it mean going to Paris and representing the red, white, and blue? And they're like, and then I had to go like, how fast can you move the oars? Oh, you could take the oars and you do this and you go that. And so McDonald is just, in my mind, I'm okay with it because he takes the emotion out of the game, and he's going to have his team ready, X's and O's, how to beat the team. Like, he's just I enjoy him. I thought it was interesting. Yes, you're just not going to get any of those fun sound bites for radio or TV, but that's okay for the betterment of the Seahawks.
Yeah, he is. You're right about that. He is extremely bright, and he's off to a great start, and it's been a hell of a transition for him. It really has. He couldn't have got off to a better start, and the organization couldn't have got off to a better start. And I'll just say this, though. He's not the best interview in the world and all that, but that's not what he's paid, and that's not what he's hired to do. No. It doesn't matter. But I like the way he conducts himself. And so far, so good. Been good.
We'll find out next Monday, a big one against the Lions.
Sure, big one against the Lions.
On the road in Detroit. So it's going to be a fun test for this team. I think, they keep it close, win or lose.
Sure.
The Seahawks are on the map. And if you look at that NFC West right now, A lot of injuries. So this is the Seahawks.
Is this your Egan lock of the week or?
That's not my lock of the week. I think the NFC West is definitely there for the taking for the Seahawks, though.
Where are you at tonight? Where are we going to find you doing reports from tonight for King 5 for the big game of the week?
Well, you know what, Puck? I'm excited because this is the thing about the big game. We go to so many different places, and there's some historic venues and some great schools, and then there's some schools that just have not got enough love from the media over the years. And tonight we are giving some love to the Highlanders from Hazen High School. We have not featured Hazen a lot on the big game over the years. It's their homecoming night. I heard from the principal how the whole school is just excited. It's at Renton Memorial Stadium tonight. They're hosting undefeated 4th-ranked Mercer Island. So the Islanders are coming off the island tonight. They're getting in their Land Rovers and their sombrero hats and the.
It's gonna be a lot of Hunter boots at Renton Memorial tonight.
Hunter boots.
Boy, are they gonna be? They're gonna be. Wait for a rude awakening coming up tonight.
I didn't know this part of the city exists.
Renton versus Mercer Island.
Let's go, Hazen.
Come on. So it's going to be a fun one tonight. I'm excited for that one. This is our 4th week. We've had gigantic crowds at every one of these games so far. It's great. It's been fun. Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's been good. So
you sent out these great pictures and follow. What's the Instagram handle?
Chris Egan 5.
Okay, same thing as Twitter. Yeah, all those pictures. I get so envious every night that you do it. Every Friday, the people get so into it. It's just awesome. And
I had an email from one dad. He's like, "Hey, my daughter's going to be, one of the homecoming princesses tonight. Can you highlight her on the show?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, we're not. I mean, we'll do our best to get her on there."
You mind sneaking her on? She'd like to do an interview and maybe get her on a few minutes with Greg and Joyce if you can, please.
Oh man! And then earlier this week, Puck, we had 2 brothers from Kennedy Catholic, Derek Coleman Brusa and Lowen Coleman Brusa. And when I say these 2 kids are 2 of the nicest kids I've ever interviewed in my life, they truly are. They're
like both high recruits, right? Or one is more than the other.
Lowen's going to UW as an offensive lineman, and Derek is a junior. And some say he's the top edge rusher recruit in the country right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And everybody wants this kid. And oh my gosh, this kid is about as ripped as you can get. But to tell everybody, this kid played soccer up until the 9th grade. He was a soccer player. And he was really big. And they play water polo during the summertime. They take a break from football. They don't play at all the very high-end elite, but just good kids.
Nice.
But when you're on the field, they're going to bury you, and they're good. So look for Kennedy Catholic, Puckett. Look for this story. Pat Jones is the head coach. His son, the running back, Indiana Jones.
I was aware of that, yeah.
Yeah. So look for an Indiana Jones story in the future.
I can't wait. You are the best. Have fun tonight at Renton Memorial. You got Hazen and Mercer Island. Yes.
And Puck, we got one last breaking nugget we got to get in. I mean, the news was broke yesterday. I was part of breaking this big story yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Stiller will be releasing a new movie called The Dink. Pickleball is coming to Hollywood, Puckett. Pickleball is coming to Hollywood. It's the story of a washed-up tennis pro that has to save his club. He told his father that he would never play pickleball, but now he's forced to make that decision to play pickleball financially to save the club. Ben Stiller, Mary Steenburgen, Andy Roddick. Puck, I can't.
It's a real who's who.
I told you about this 5 years ago about this sport, and everybody laughed at me. Everybody mocked me.
I was late.
Everybody just said this sport's not going to make it. And now you're wearing a hat saluting pickleball with a P on it. I mean,
you've been a full supporter. All right, you're the best. The Chris Egan Show brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 locations, Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. Book one of their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, fatzachspizza.com. Find Chris on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Egan 5. Of course, all of his work up at king5.com every Friday here at PuckSports.com. And again, you can find it on YouTube. Listen to it later, Apple, Spotify, and as I mentioned before, PuckSports.com. You are the best, sir.
Hey, don't be shy tonight. If you're heading to Fat Zach, say hello to Mel, Tanya, and Marty. They'll be there.
Just look for the white wine and the urban sombreros. See you, Chris.
See you, buddy. Be good.
Chris Egan, King 5. And the big game tonight there on King 5 will be happening. He'll be broadcasting, what do you say, 5:30, 6, 11, all of that tonight there at Renton Memorial Coliseum, Hazen and Mercer Island. All right, before we go, hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services, locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. All right, tonight, I get it. Yeah, said it yesterday, fan how you want to fan, then just said after they lost, hey, don't go. I mean, why go and help them out? And then there were some people that agree with that. There were some people that push back. And this is the beauty of it. We're all sports fans. So ultimately, you're going to do whatever you want to do. And that's obviously the way that you should do it. I guess my point with this about not showing up, one, they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to leave. Their lease is so ironclad and it's through like mid 2040s. So they're not going anywhere. One, they're not going to leave because they're too profitable to leave. The city, the market, all of it, the region, they would never go anywhere else where they could make more money than they make in Seattle because it's just not a Washington team. It's just not a Seattle team. It's a region team. They own this state. They own Oregon. That's why they don't want a team in Oregon. And trust me when I tell you, they do not want Portland to get an expansion team. They don't want it because they have the Portland market. They don't want another team to come in that market. They've got Idaho. They've got Alaska. They've got Montana. It's a huge reach for them. Massive. They're not going anywhere. At some point as a fan base, you've got to send them a message. Whatever that message is. And I get there was a lot of people, I love baseball. I'm not going to rob my kids of baseball. And I get it. I don't want to rob my kids of baseball. But at some point, you've got to send them a signal that what they're doing to you as a fan base, and I'm talking about the people that have lived here, not you transplants, and I don't mean that. I'm not trying to mean that in a negative way. These transplants who've come here in the last 10 years and you've adopted the marriage. It's great. Love it. Love that you've adopted them. I'm talking about the people who've grown up here and have had to deal with this since 1977. It's just been an abusive relationship. It has been. They just haven't ever done enough for you. And yes, are we going to come back next year and support them? And when spring training comes around and Chris Egan's doing the story with the camera on the ground and the cleats, am I going to get excited? You know, that sound? Of course. I get excited every year. You know, for the actual team on the field, the players. But this ownership group and these guys that lead it, it is just the same story year and year over year over year. And I don't, what you're supposed to do as a fan. You know, what rights do you have? You've got none. Nothing. It's funny. They claim it's a public park, but you can't use it. You've paid for it, but you can't go in there anytime you want. You know, we built that thing, not them. We did. We built it. Taxpayers built that. But they take all the profits from it. If you didn't show up for the next 3 nights, they're not going to leave. I don't know if it changes anything. Picket the place. Go and picket. I hope there's whatever, the 40,000 people in there tonight, and 30,000 or 20,000 people are in there tonight, and they're have signs and bags on their head. And I hope that they don't prevent it from happening. I would love to see that. And I would just love for that ownership group just to see what they've done. They have just, beaten down a loyal fan base for years. And they know that we'll keep coming back year after year after year. But they're not as passionate as a lot of us are about the team. And they're not as passionate about their success like their players are. And those guys burn to win. Cal Raleigh burns to win. George Kirby burns to win. So does Logan Gilbert. So does Julio. They burn to win. At some point, that group that leads them has got to have that same burning desire. All right, that's it for Hey, What the Puck. It's brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com. North Seattle franchise. All right, couple of housekeeping things. One, Huskies tonight against Rutgers. If you want to get caught up on the Huskies preview of Rutgers, podcast with Elise Woodward and Jordan Reffett that we do every week is up on all the platforms right now. Give it a listen. 40 minutes of breaking down the game, talking about Jonah Coleman, talking about Will Rogers. So-so start for him, even though the stats would say it's better than a so-so start. Special teams concerns from Elise Woodward, who, again, sees it firsthand on the sidelines. Great breakdown from her on the game, and great breakdown from Jordan on the kind of inconsistencies that they have currently right now on offense. So you want to give that a listen before the game kicks off at 5 o'clock tonight. For the Cougs, in that game tomorrow against Boise State, Old Crimson podcast is up. So is our conversation on Cougs Corner with offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle. And that's up on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. For everyone who checked in today, big thanks to Jim Moore. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Chris Egan and TroyWins.com. Go get some gambling advice right now before you make all your weekend picks at TroyWins.com. Monday, we'll move some things around a little bit. We got to see because with Monday Night Football, I gotta see what we're gonna do with our programming. We may move the Hawks Nest with Curtis and Tim to Tuesday, flip Rob to Monday, Rob Staten from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. That's all kind of moving parts right now. For those who are listening today on the PuckSports mobile app, again, we'll get that little bug fixed where you can move off the app and do other things on your phone and still listen in the background. That's still a work in progress, but it hopefully will be resolved soon. For those Android users, again, I'll repeat it one more time. Google Play, it's in the process of being approved. It just Google Play, that app store takes a little bit longer than Apple. But it will be available soon. All right. Everybody enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you back on Monday. As always, promise to be better.
No shirt, no shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rob you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!